it brings me to our man, Mr. Wahab. Is it Falawi or is it Wale Wahab? Yeah, Mr. Wahab, our Minister for Environment and I think he's Minister for Environment.
He's a commissioner.
Commissioner for Environment in Lagos. I was waxing poetic, talking about climate change, from so. There's not climate change, that we should be prepared for climate change and stuff and all. And it was a mixed reaction to the posts. Like, what are we really doing? What do you think? Is it about climate change? Is it really about climate change that you're talking about and all? And, so Nigeria, we've been experiencing a lot of flooding, flash flood, when rain falls and stuff. And, people are complaining like what's happening and all. But I could see like when I was young, like it's been a while, couple of decades now, rain fell and it was flood everywhere. So I'm like, and then I've not really been hearing much about climate change at those period and stuff. How come it's not climate change? Like, So, yeah. I mean, you just hear all these things and you be like, man, that's why it's good to be educated, good to be informed, and all, and don't get hoodwinked by all this, and all. What do you think about, Mr. Commissioner? I mean, I know. Anyway, what do you think? I'll come back to my thoughts on it.
I actually made a comment to that post when they put it up because it was just in line with the same approach that the globalists take. And when I use the word globalist, I know some people think I'm
conspiracy theories.
I'm sorry, it's just for lack of a better word. That's what they call them. The guys at the top that are orchestrating how the entire world is responding to different things.
Yeah.
They call them globalists. So it showed some clips that showed like areas getting flooded, Brazil, and everything. And then it was waxing lyrical, like you said, about how this is the effect of climate change. We should all be very careful. We should all be ready to make serious changes, support the government, blah, blah, blah. And I commented on that post and I said that he of all people shouldn't be doing things like that because it's in the same vein that the climate change promoters follow when they want to get the whole world to align with this climate change agenda. They try to put an element of fear. They try to put an element of urgency. They try to put an element of emergency into the subject so that people are scared and then we just say, oh, okay, what do you need us to do? And then we'll follow what you tell us to do. I was watching a clip somewhere. No, I think I was not a clip. I attended a training. It was a fraud, training. And I remember the instructor was telling us that how do you know when someone is trying to scam you? There are telltale signs that you can see when someone is trying to scam you that should put you at high alert. Number one, when you receive a message or a communication that tries to trigger fear in you, they just send you a message. Oh, your your account has been suspended because you did not do this. To avoid that, you shut down your account, send an email or call this number now. They put fear in you, number one. Number two, they try to force you to do something immediately. Those are elements of a scam or a scam artist. They want to put fear in you and they want to trigger an immediate reaction from you so that the moment you just fall into it, you enter the trap. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying climate change is a scam. Climate change is a thing, actually. The problem is the messaging around it. I think that the messaging around it has been skewed to a point where they're trying to send a message of fear and they're trying to trigger people to behave a certain kind of way for reasons best known to them. And I like the point you made where you talked about the fact that go back maybe 30 years ago, we've been having flash floods. Places have been flooding. There is nothing happening today that is new. Go back 3 centuries ago. We have been having tsunami. We have been having earthquake. We have been having tornado. We have been having hurricane. There is nothing new that's happening today that hasn't happened before. So how come all of a sudden now the things are happening is because of climate change, right? And I study geography, right? So I try to test some of these assumptions that is being made to push this agenda. The entire story of climate change is based on global warming, right? The assumption that the emission of harmful gases, greenhouse gases like methane and carbon monoxide, is going up to the stratosphere and it's messing up the ozone layer. And so because the ozone layer is getting depleted, we have more, because ideally the ozone layer is like a gaseous layer that sort of provides some kind of protection against the sun's ultraviolet rays. So because of the ozone layer, a lot of the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays are filtered away and don't get to the Earth's surface. So every time we burn fossil fuel or we use dirty energy sources, those gases go to the stratosphere and then they begin to mess up with the ozone layer and deplete it. So that covering begins to wear out. So more sun rays is reaching the Earth's surface, thereby causing the temperature of the Earth to warm up more. And so this is where I get a bit confused. If the temperature of the Earth warms up more, the argument is that the North Pole, where the ice caps are, will melt. And when the ice caps melt, the sea level will rise. But then the question I ask myself is, when we look at adverse weather events like tsunamis or tornadoes, or even like typhoons or flash floods, are these things actually caused by a rise in sea level? No. They're caused by planetary movements, right? Either movements of the Earth crust, which is basically where the tectonic plate sits, right? When the Earth crust moves or shifts, it will cause a vibration, right, on the Earth that can lead to either an earthquake. If that Earth crust moves under a seabed, that vibration will trigger what we call a tsunami. So earthquakes and tsunamis are not caused by climate change. They are caused by planetary movements of the Earth crust. Hurricanes, typhoons, tornadoes. These weather events are caused by the planetary winds, right? And then the geography students in the house will understand the planetary winds. You have the easterly winds, the westerly winds, the trade winds. All these winds, they blow around the globe. They have their specific directions that they follow, and then they have their own specific characteristics. Whenever you have a sudden change in some of these winds, it can lead to a more forceful wind. And when a more forceful wind blows over a water body, it will carry water with it. And that's when you have hurricanes. Wind that has blown over the sea and crashed inland, bringing water with it, right? Same thing with a typhoon. It's wind, right? The Coriolis forces play its part as well in how these winds move. So now, the important link for me in linking global warming with these planetary winds is, can we answer the question to say that global warming has a direct impact on planetary winds? Does the increase in the Earth's surface temperature somehow mess with the planetary winds, which now triggers these adverse weather events? There is no scientific proof or direct, certified, guaranteed scientific proof that links the warming of the Earth or the melting of ice caps in the North Pole to any of these incidents. So why are we attributing things that are caused by something else entirely to climate change? And that's why I questioned Mr. Wahab's tweet where he was showing flash floods and showing, all those things and saying it's climate change. How do we link it together? First of all, the climate, and this is going to be a controversial statement, the climate is always changing. In my opinion, the climate recycles itself, right? It's not always getting hotter alone. There are periods where, yes, it's hotter, And then there are periods when it is colder. It's like a cycle. The earth and the climate, it's just like Mother Nature. Mother Nature is always replenishing itself, regardless of what we do. We're not the ones that will determine whether we are going to help nature exist or not. The same thing with the universe. When the globalists use climate change as a vehicle to say we want to save the planet, we're too small to save the planet. We're not there when the planet was formed. None of our scientists to today can give us irrefutable proof of the beginning of life or the beginning of the earth itself. All they can do is study the planetary bodies and try to explain how it's formed, how it is set up. But they don't have the evidence to show how it was created. It's the same thing with nature. It's the same thing with the climate, bruv. We don't have the facilities to save the earth. We are too small to save the earth. I believe that the story of climate change should center more around how do we save ourselves. That's a better story that I would like to hear, right? Agreed. When you release methane and carbon monoxide, a lot of these harmful substances, they stay in the troposphere, and that's the immediate atmosphere of our Earth's environment, and that is where we get our oxygen that we breathe. If you tell me today that we need to reduce our emission because we want to be able to reduce pollutants that affect the quality of our air, that's a better argument to make. So when you tell us to achieve net zero, when you tell us to achieve carbon neutrality, the story is we want to pollute the air less so that we can breathe in better air and we can live longer, healthier lives. That's a better narrative to sell to the people, which is closer to the truth. And you are telling people that we want to save us. But when you say you want to save the planet, bruv, net zero is not going to stop a tsunami. It's not going to stop flash flood. It's not going to stop a hurricane. All of these things existed in the past, 2,000 years ago. They'll exist today. They'll still exist tomorrow, because that's just the way the world is set up. And we can't explain why it's that way. So for me, I think that, yes, it's an unpopular opinion. A lot of the globalists and the climate change guys and your COP27, COP28 guys, they don't want to hear it. I'm not here to say that, maybe there is some negative agenda somewhere, but I'm saying, why don't we ask more pertinent questions around the climate change agenda? There's a lot of fear. These guys at the World Economic Forum and all these guys, they want to task some continents like Africa. They want to get us to commit to a particular year that, we'll abandon fossil fuel, we'll start doing renewables, EVs, all those things, trying to defund us because they don't want us to engage in those fossil fuel energy sources anymore. They want us to move there and they want us to move there. And I'm like, let's take a chill pill. We're pushing this thing a bit too fast. Let's ask some real tangible questions. I did my research on this. If you're telling me that global warming is what is causing climate change, and then you're also saying that hurricane, typhoons, tsunamis, tornadoes, flash floods are caused by global warming, I would just like to see one piece of scientific evidence that directly links global warming to all of these adverse environmental effects or weather effects. And if there isn't a clear link that can establish this relationship, we really need to soft pedal on this climate change story, and we need to focus more on what's important, which is more responsible living, right? Harness your energy in a responsible way, reduce your pollutants so that people stop getting poisoned by bad air, and then we can live a longer, healthier life. That's a more reasonable story to tell than this save our planet story, which to me is a lot of BS.
Yeah, that's that's lesson for Mr. Wahab. I hope he's going to watch this.
Unfortunately, he's not the kind of guy that takes to alternative perspectives.
Yeah, the question that I wanted to ask Mr. Wahab is, what exactly is his what exactly is his agenda as it pertains to project that is complete and executed, to the letter. Number one, he was chasing people that were making noise. That was what I know him for. Locking people up and stuff. I don't think I've heard much of that anymore. I mean, I don't think there's been any lesser noise in the environment, because I still hear a lot of noise, everything blaring everywhere and stuff. The second one was, he was saying like, we want to achieve clean hair and all and everything. I don't even know what that one is about. This one now is saying climate change. I don't understand. What does Mr. Wahab, what does he want to do? That's the question. What does Mr. Wahab want to do? He should tell us. Should not just be taking us where we don't know. This one today, this one today, this one tomorrow, and all. The question, I mean, what I would just advise him, if you can just stay with that noise pollution and follow through, let us know that this is the thing that he achieved during Tinubu's era. Let us know that that's the thing that you achieved.
During Sanwo-Olu's era.
Is it Sanwo-Olu?
He worked for Sanwo-Olu.
Oh yeah, he worked for Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah.
During Sanwo-Olu's era. You did that first go round. We don't hear anything. Okay, I think he's even started this second term of Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah, I think so.
He started second term and all.
Yeah.
So if you are going to do I was on them throughout the first go round of Sanwo-Olu. Like, I sent them a message like, come to the area, there's a lot of noise and stuff and all. They know they do anything. They're not going to answer your mail. They're not good. I see people send them message as well that would go back to them like, have you seen my message? And all. They don't follow through. And all. So there is, I mean, you guys should just jump from one project to project to project. I don't know. Maybe I'm just putting it out so that your guy can see it. And then you guys can say, this is where we need money again. And then they'll put money there again and all. I don't understand. If you guys are really lead us well. You see, Nigerians are the easiest to lead. If you guys are just doing the right thing, just do it to the letter. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people loved what's it called? Fashola, when Fashola was governor? People wanted Fashola they wanted to even want him to have a lifetime of governorship, and all. Because people saw what he was doing. So if you guys want to lead well, do it well, I'm going to talk about the climate change a little. I follow, because what I do, because that's what I do. I try to find out and try to know a little about what's going on and all, So, but the scare tactics, I just don't like it, because when you say anything, you see some climate activists go, I think they went to, was it Volkswagen? They went one day, I think it was in Germany. Yeah. They went to sit there, they gummed themselves on the floor. And then those guys were, okay, guys stayed there, they locked them and they went home, So, there is this militant approach that they just deploy, as if you are telling people not to live their life. You're telling people to just stop, for you, because you think in your mind, or because you believe in your mind that this is what is supposed to be for the global good, supposed to be good for the global. At some point, I think they even they wanted to start disrupting football match at some point. I don't know. There was one match that they were playing that they went and they poured stuff on on the field and stuff and all. And all these things they're not the way to go, really. There's this lady, I think Jordan Peterson has interviewed her before. Judith Corey. He's an American climatologist and former chair of School of Earth Atmospheric Sciences at the Georgia Institute of Technology. And these ones are professionals to the core. They are well read and they are all that. If he's a chair, of the School of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences at the Georgia Institute of Technology, that means that she knows what her onions is what, and then she has given, and all. She's one of the people that they removed from the climate. They removed that. They just suspended that, told her to go, from the climate accord, because what she said was, guys, are we outplaying our hand here? These things that you guys are saying, from my own research, the math is not math, they are not connecting, can we just slow our roll a little, and let the earth take care of itself? What is our own responsibility, as it pertains to how, we clean our environment, how we kind of maintain, if there are, blockages, and sometimes, where humans are situated to affect all these things. When you put, buildings on gutter ways that supposed to, get through to the ocean or to the, to the larger,
Water
stream
bodies,
and stuff
yeah.
that would kind of channel it, into the right direction. When you block it, that's what happens, so all these, little things that we humans, we do, to kind of impede our own, livelihood, as it pertains to our community. And so let's deal with it and stuff and all, and then we talk about the Lagos state, pulling buildings down and all. That's like their easiest. It is like bread and butter to them. They're pulling building down. It's like their bread and butter. They love it so much, because then it is, assumed that they are working, they are doing the work and stuff and all. But the question is, who gave them those permission? Who gave them the, who sold the land to them, and who gave them the right, because if you are buying land, you still go to, town planning,
Ministry
lands,
of Lands,
Ministry of Town Planning and stuff and all. They will do all the normal paperwork and stuff. Who is giving them those approval and stuff, So at the end of the day, you realize that.
Sorry, just on that one as well. Sorry to cut it short, but on the demolishing, it's the rainy season now in Nigeria and in Lagos particularly, and you see what's been happening on the island in the last few weeks with the rains. The flood has been more than ever before. As in rain falls and then the whole of Lekki is like blocked, people spend 3 hours on the road, and then people are asking questions like, Engineer Wahab, I thought all the houses you were pulling down was because you want to clear, you want to clear drainage channel. Why? The flood is even more than before you started pulling down houses. So really, Engineer Wahab, the Commissioner for Environment and something.
Engineer Wahab.
We're not really seeing the workings.
Yes,
there's a lot of talk. And then now you want to scare us with another climate change story. But the one that is supposed to be within our own reach, we're not doing. The drainage channel is still blocked. The gutters are still blocked. So
if Engineer Wahab wants to be doing poetry, let's know. We'll come to what's it called? Terraculture, or come to Freedom Park
or Alliance Francaise.
Alliance Francaise. You can put you on stage. You do poem with microphone. You do poem for us. We'll clap for you. Now do work. Now with the ass, do work.
Bro.
Seriously, we're tired of all these things. Do work. Seriously. On the more serious note, like I said, Nigerians are looking for good leaders. They are the easiest to lead. If you do little things like this, Nigerians go clap for you. They're even doing worse. They're still clapping for them. You cannot imagine if you are doing good.
Yeah.
They will clap for you.
They'll build statue for you.
Yeah, build statue for you. Really.
So you have seen Shaggy.
Who is that person that builds statue for themselves, Seth?
Who is that? For this country?
It seems it's wicked.
No, head stays. They don't break and finish now. Yeah.
He said,
I don't know if he did it for himself or
I don't know if he did it for himself.
For him.
So that when you leave office, they will not be pulling your statue down.
Yeah.
Saying that time for everybody,
time.
Season. You know what they say now? For everything in life, there is time and season. This is your time. Do all the poem that you like and all, but time will still pass.
Yeah.
Now that account, now we go, they read for you when that time comes.